I think the ultimate thing with this movie is that it's not what you expect with a comic book movie. It's not like a Marvel movie. There's a lot more questions and a lot more depth. Whereas in a Marvel movie, they kind of wear their emotions on their sleeve. They actually say them. They actually say what they're thinking. They say what they're going to do. And there's no guesswork. Whereas this movie, there's guesswork and there's a lot of darkness to it and a lot of realness to it. And I don't think a lot of people like that, because when they go see a movie, they want to have, a light, fun, good time and everything, give it to them. And I think that also has to do with our generation.
Sorry, Marvel, I just got real quick. You pissed me off. The Hulk is my favorite Marvel character. Hands down. They took Hulk from a semi-intelligent creature that could be sent off to fight an enemy to a beast that needs to be calmed down by petting his hand.
And for me, it's like I said in the review, I've been getting really disillusioned with the Marvel movies just because to me they seem very repetitive. Age of Ultron was very much the same thing as the first Avengers. Ant-Man to me was very much so a retelling of Iron Man. Yeah. And it's just like, come on guys, you have these rich stories that you could tell, but you're not telling it because you're afraid to go deep. Like Ant-Man, they could have went with Hank Pym.
They should have went with Hank Pym.
They would have had so many different stories. They could have had him start off as Ant-Man, going Yellow Jacket, Giant Man. There's some other ones.
Ant-Man, we aren't going to go through them. It was Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket, Giant Man, and then back to Ant-Man again. But what I'm saying is they could have touched with Hank Pym about women being beat and domestic violence. Absolutely. They could have touched on injustice and equality. They could have touched on having those own personal dilemmas and issues within yourself that causes you to have these different personality changes and this growth and development as a person.
But for me, that's ultimately a problem with superhero movies that I've been feeling, is that they're just too lighthearted and afraid to go there with the source material and what they're doing. And the thing with comics is that they're not afraid to go there. No. They have those dark, gritty stories. I mean, Green Arrow's sidekick got hooked on drugs. I think one time we had AIDS. Comic books started off with, they had people who were transgendered in them. They had gay people in them. They had Professor X and Magneto were play on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. So a comic book movie shouldn't be afraid to go there with what it's doing and be dark and gritty.
And that's the thing that I think it does a disservice to comic books. And the reason why they do it is fan service. Comic books, they have a fan base that's not going to leave. I love this comic book series. I bought multiple Hulk comic books. I'm going to buy them no matter what, as long as there's a good story, of course. But I'm still going to buy them and be a fan no matter what they do in the storyline. No matter what you do with the Hulk or how good or how bad he is, I'm going to still pay attention to it and know that, hey, this is the comic books. He could change next week. But in the movies, they're like, oh, we're scared to offend people. We're scared that people aren't going to come and see the movie. And they're playing more for ratings and more for views than for content. And comic books were created as a fun, interesting way to look at social issues and social injustices and social problems. How can we address these? How can we acknowledge these? How can we show people that, hey, we are common, or this is right, this is wrong? One of the original comics for Captain America was him fighting Germany, fighting the Nazis. Like, that was a big push for us going against the Nazis back in the day, was a Captain America comic book. So to now want to get away from being in a sense, a beacon for looking at our world in a not so offensive, abrupt manner, being able to look at us, all these people are fake. Yeah, they're going through similar things as we are, but I don't take it as personal because these are all fake characters. That's kind of what you were doing with it. But now it's just like, no, let's just see some explosions and some cool stuff. And that'll be the end of the movie.
Which is part of the reason why I'm not excited at all for Civil War.
No, not at all.
And I'm not excited for Spider-Man, especially after
they remade him for a freaking fourth time in like 5 years.
Well, not only that, but he looks so CGI. The first time I watched the trailer, I watched it on my iPhone. I was like, oh, he looks horrible. He looks so
He looks
fake.
like a blob.
And then I watched. I had hope. I was like, okay, maybe it's just because I'm watching it on my phone. I watched it on my laptop.
I saw it on my laptop.
I saw it at my school. My school has Mac computers, and they nice
beautiful screens. Yeah, beautiful screens.
And of course, I have a MacBook. And I was like, no. And I was like, I commented on Facebook. Somebody was talking about the trailer, and I was like, if he looks this bad on a small screen, imagine how he's gonna look on a big screen. And when I saw Batman vs. Superman, and I saw it first in IMAX 3D, and I saw Superman, I was like, God, he looks so fucking fake. It looks horrible. And I know the argument is they have plenty of time, they can fix it and then keep working on it. But why in the hell? That's a dumb marketing strategy. Why in the hell would you put an unfinished products in the trailer? Because that's going to turn people off. That's
what everyone sees. That's what everyone rewatches 4 to 5 times to see, oh man, how am I really going to care for this movie or not?
Yeah.
But my thing is they didn't even set up the movie. They did not even set up the Civil War properly.
No, they
didn't.
That's
what really pissed me off is there's a lack of, okay, you don't want to deal with social issues, cool. You're trying to not offend anybody. It's understandable. You're spending millions and millions of dollars on these movies. If they don't sell tickets,
getting a nice return.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you don't sell tickets, you don't get a nice return, and you won't get another movie if you don't get a good return. So I can understand you playing fan service to put butts in seats. But when you don't even have a good storyline anymore, when your storyline doesn't even have a proper chronological order,
there's no tension.
They're best friends.
They're best friends for all intents and purposes. So it's really hard to imagine them actually butting heads. Yeah, in Age of Ultron, it was supposed to set the foundation for the tensions.
All getting mad a little bit and going at each other.
It's like, I don't feel it. Plus, first off, you have someone who's mind controlling them.
Yeah.
So it throws off the whole thing. Like,
this is real anger, Yeah,
it's not real anger. It's just the person who is mind controlling them.
It's like in the first movie when Loki did it in the room and they all started getting mad at each other.
Another example, which I didn't want to say, but I'm glad you said it, which is another example of how similar Age of Ultron was to Avengers.
I didn't even think about that, yeah.
Because Loki did mind control, then you had Scarlet Witch do mind control, then you had Loki was the main bad guy, and then he had an army of aliens.
Yeah.
Ultron was the main bad guy, and then he had an army of robots. It was just way too similar, and it got on my nerves. But anyway.
Now, real quick, again, the reason why I hated it was the Hulk. The Hulk, he's... At this point in time, which is what they're doing, they're pushing it into the later years of Hulk. That's when they first went to go get the Hulk and they got Bruce Banner. He was off in the middle of some Argentinian world, saving people and helping people. He had full and utter control over the Hulk. You know, how do you keep the Hulk? You know, how do you keep him from going on a rampage? Well, I'm always mad. Well, it's like what he's saying is no, he's not always mad, but he's learned how to keep himself in the proper mindset so that he controls the Hulk. And then you even see the Hulk. He's not this brute. When you see him become the Hulk, and he's Captain America sitting there telling everybody what to do, and he looks at the Hulk and he's like, Hulk, smash. Hulk smiles, giggles, and like hops off to go wreck some shit. That is not a wild animal Hulk that does not have depth, that had multiple talks with Bruce in their own brain.
Yeah, they made him kind of go backwards, because in the first one he had control. The second one is like he didn't have control.
He didn't have control. He's got to do a lullaby or some crap. It's like, first off, he should have become more intelligent, more in-depth, more deep with his character. And by that point, him and the Hulk should have had, because I'm nerding out a little bit right now. Yeah. There's a certain point where the Hulk and Bruce Banner have a conversation, and the Bruce Banner's like, you can really do some really good with the Avengers. Like, you can really be a strong person, and you can save a lot of lives, and I know you want to make up for some of the stuff you did in your past. And the Hulk's like, all right, I'll do this, and I'll be friends with these guys, and I'll be a part of the Avengers, but there's no more puny Banner. I will never be Banner again. And that's the reason why you see in all of the comics and all of the animes and everything, he becomes a permanent Hulk for a long period of time, because he's like, I'm not going to be Banner anymore if you want me to be part of this random team that I don't really want to be a part of.
Yeah.
So the whole Age of Ultron movie, it should have been nothing but Hulk all the time. Show a true evolution of the characters. Show some depth and show some respect to the source material that you're using.
And I just want to say really quickly, and then we can end this video. That was another thing, the Hulk. That was repetitive from the first one to the second one. The Hulk fought an Avenger. That, just leaving it at that, and is Batman. Honestly, when I first heard that he was gonna be Batman, I was like, no, what are you guys doing? No. But I ate crow, happily, because this dude was probably hands down one of the best Batman. I'm not going to give him the title of the best Batman, but he's one of them. He's also a really good Bruce Wayne. A lot of people don't understand that when you have an actor playing Bruce Wayne, they have to play Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's two totally different characters. Christian Bale was a great Batman. To me, he wasn't a great Bruce Wayne.
George Clooney was a great Bruce Wayne, but not so much a great Batman, and so on and so forth. So Ben Affleck did a great job.
From the origin, it would have taken away from the allure of that quick video, because once he did, he would have found out about Star Labs. He would have found out about Silas Stone, who is the black guy, who is Victor, who is the guy who's on the table getting repaired, fixed, mended. I don't even know.
He was dead by all intents and purposes. He was trying to work on a piece of flesh. That's why it was so crazy. Because his body parts weren't moving, weren't twitching. You didn't see any. Like it may have seemed like in the beginning because you. It
was really just like this much.
Yeah, it was just this much. It was just the top half of his body, but it looked like the screen, like the scene itself, like there were like fuzzy parts where it like kind of looked like it jumped in time to like further on. So it seemed like maybe he was alive in the beginning, and then like as he kept doing his log entries, it got worse and worse, and he was dying. And then that's when he finally was like, "All right, last resort, whatever this new technology is, let's see what happens."
So okay, that covers